Back in Northern California at Sears Point for the IMSA Endurance Championship. We really have just gone back to green after a lengthy yellow because of a crash headed down toward turn 10. There is your leader, car 62. That is Kelly Collins in the BMW. He is led from early on in this event as we started from the pole position. So this was the area where the crash happened a number of laps ago that prompted the full course yellow. And here's what, watch the red car back here. That is David Alloy. He loops it right here, catches the tire wall. Watch the rear window. And it shatters as it hits the ground. And then he gets collected by the 52 car, Barry Waddell. Barry was in the hunt for class honors at running about 13th or 14th overall, but did some body damage to that BMW. So that prompted the full course yellow to get the Alloy car off the track, to get all the glass swept up, and to get those tires back where they belong. So now we're back to green flag racing. Once again, Kelly Collins continues to lead in car number 62. Now up in the second position is Vic White. He is on second. But we're going to take a quick break and come back with all the class leaders. Let's get 4 classes running for 3 hours here at Sears Point. We'll take this commercial break and come back with all the class leaders. And just 1 hour into this 3-hour endurance race from Sears Point Raceway here in Sonoma, California, in the wine country of Napa Valley. We take a look at the class leaders, and once again, Gary Collins continues to lead. He is led from early on, from the pole position in the overall, plus leading obviously in Grand Sport.
He's looking very, very strong. There's the sports leader, the 51 car of Jim Pace. The compatriot, the number 52 car, of course, got badly damaged in that big shunt coming off the last turn.
Pace came in, made a driver change, so we talked earlier to Kyle Tura, and he is in the race car right now, but they're overall being shown in 25th position, but they are being shown number 1 now in the sports division.
Right in the middle of the big melee there as they come into turn 10 here. 11, right.
Takes the BMW to the outside and goes through turn 11 to complete one more lap. Once again, not a, we don't count the laps here. This is a timed event, a 3-hour endurance. We're also being joined here in the broadcast booth by Ross Bentley. It will be in action tomorrow in the World Sports Cars in the Snap-on School victory as we'll start in 6th position. And we'll have a chance to show you the touring here. Once again, 4 different divisions running here. And there's the 85 car who is leading in the touring class. It's James Potter. That car obviously has not made the pit stop, and the driver changed here to start the race, and he continues to run first in class.
An awful lot of cars starting to show signs of bodywork. The 44 car just seemed to go either off the road on purpose or just drove off the road up there. The 85 car come up into turn 7, the tightest corner here, the real tight hairpin.
He's 17th overall, but leading in class. But one thing to remember, 4 classes, but right now he is leading in his class and 17th overall. And this, I would think, during this driving spin at this point, an hour of the race, the track is slick, it is hot, it's extra hot inside the cockpit. These guys have to get tired. And Ross, definitely when you get tired, the concentration goes away, you start to see the cars slide and make some little mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the dangerous part of the race, really. You know, your concentration is suffering a little bit, but the track is definitely getting worse at this point. And, you know, we've had a couple of crashes, it's not forced out because of the track. Not a cool day, I think.
Not a very good start. And the 85 car, right behind it, which of course is it is the 25 car driven by Peter Cunningham. We spoke to his co-driver a few months ago, and of course that car is something dead last. So about the challenge for the lead. The 85 car is leading his division. There's the compact leader, number 78 car.
Peter Finelli leads the compact. I think the 78 car overall is back in 33rd position. Well, and we also saw what happened when you put a lap of slower cars. In that short straightaway headed down towards turn 10. So you really have to tiptoe and be very gingerly as you work your way around some of the slower cars.
Yeah, and that's what I think Peter Cunningham has come from the back of the pack. I mean, that's a pretty amazing drive to come that far through the pack with this kind of traffic. And you think about it, concentration levels getting a little bit strained at this point. The track's getting worse. Still got 2 hours to go.
To see what the team has done, though, you start to ask, what could they have done had they not been disqualified? But at the same time, we also have to ask, are they abusing tires? Are they abusing brakes? More so than had they not been disqualified.
Yeah, I mean, and with 2 hours to go, that could be a real big factor.
Good battle for third shaping up between number 3 and we just saw past there.
That's our past commentator. That is David Murray, who we had up in the booth here at the beginning of the show, driving the number 3 car, now shown in third spot.
Position.
So does that mean that I automatically go into third spot?
Oh, that could be it, yeah.
No, only if you start the broadcast with us, then get in the race car does that work.
I'm sorry, I'm busy at the start of the race tomorrow.
We'll just mic your helmet. How's that? You can commentate from in-car.
I don't know if you're allowed to say that on the TV.
Well, we'll put a delay system on for you. David Murray actually is not in the car. They've not made that stop. So Cochran continues to run up there in the third spot in number 3. But Murray will then take over on that first pit stop. And as you heard him say earlier, he had planned to make the stop, take over the car, and then have a splash and go. So, Ross, want to thank you for taking the time to come over here and spend some time with us. We wish you well. We are eager to watch you and your exploits tomorrow in the Snap-on Tools car. So thanks for coming by.
Great, thanks for having me here.
Well, we'll take this break, come back with more action from the IMSA Endurance Championship. Just over an hour and 16 minutes into the race, and looky here, your leader is in the pits. Kelly Collins started from the pole, dropped back initially, but then regained the top spot and has led throughout much of this event. So is this an early stop? We're under a full course yellow, but we'll take a look at what happened. This is Michael Himes in a Miata, backs it into the tire barrier, rolls it all the way over. Now he breaks all the glass. He actually looks out, readjusts his left side driver mirror, and will then drive away.
Well, obviously he'd have to adjust the mirror because he would obviously want to know who was coming up behind him.
Well,
God,
The only
never
person
seen him.
behind him would be a safety worker. Let's go trackside, Craig Freeman.
We have a slew of pit stops going on. The number 3 car, the Pontiac, is in. Burnell Cochran Jr. is getting out. David Murray, who we were talking with earlier, is in the car. Just a couple of stalls back, we also see the number 32 machine, that's Stu Hayner in the Pontiac. He is out. Getting in that car is Heinrichs. Our overall leader, number 62, just made a stop, and he is back out on track. So things happening in a hurry here. As a result of that yellow, we're almost exactly at the hour-and-a-half mark. This may have played right into the hands of some of these people, assuming there's some more yellows a little later on to stretch that fuel economy.
Actually, we had that full course yellow, but David Hobbs, I think this was the reason for the full course yellow and not the rollover. That's Bud Schramm in the number 8 Mazda Miata. He stalled down there in turn 10. That brought out the full course yellow.
He spun and stalled and just couldn't get it started because he was parked right on the outside. Here we see him coming in here.
And you see some tire smoke right there as he loops it right in front of our camera position, right in front of a corner worker. And the yellow comes out for that particular area of the racetrack, but then they realized that he was parked right there and was not going to move. Actually, it's number 6. I'm sorry, number 6, Fred Nelson, and not number 8. Number 6 is Fred Nelson. So he was stalled there. That brought out the full course yellow. But actually, the rollover by Michael Himes did not bring out the yellow, and he drove it back to the pit lane. Let's go back to the pit area and Calvin Fish.
Okay, I'm standing by with Jim Page, one of the most versatile drivers in IMSA competition. Jim, we've seen you work in World Sports Car with Wayne Taylor, winning 3 races, Daytona, Sebring, and Texas. And here we see you leading another class, the sports class, with the BMW number 51 before you hand it over to your teammate. How do you manage to run so fast in everything you get in?
Well, I think it's a lot of hard work, a lot of years with the Skip Barber Racing School and trying to practice what we preach there. But we just got back from Le Mans with the World Sports Car team, a great car, great effort. Changed the patch, put the Toyo tire on to get out in the Davis Racing BMWs, and we're leading the class. Just did a driver change, sort of dropped back a little bit to 3rd, but it's a good car. Hopefully we'll come out on top in this race too.
Tell us a little bit about that experience at Le Mans. It's everyone's dream to go over there, and you certainly achieved that this year. A little disappointing that you guys weren't able to pick up the Triple Crown, but it must have been a tremendous experience anyway.
Well, it was a fantastic experience, and the whole Danka, motorsports group there with the Oldsmobile and the Pirelli tires. And Riley's got everybody on that team really put forth the effort. But to run there at Le Mans, you really need a special Le Mans car. I mean, you need special bodywork, you need special fuel mileage, you name it, it needs to be special for Le Mans. To go there with a top team and having 1 Daytona and 1 Sebring was really special. I'll always remember it. Hopefully we'll be back next year.
Okay, I'm sure when they go back next time, they'll be even stronger. Back to the booth.
Well, you're looking there at the number 16 Mustang in the pit lane. That would be the car of Vic Rice. He had assumed the lead when the 62 car pitted. Now he makes his first of what would be probably 2 stops for that Mustang, and that would give the lead to car number 26. So now in the lead would be the 26 car, and that would be Peter Sack. So we'll take a break as we remain under yellow. We'll sort everything out and come back to racing with now about an hour and 20 minutes into the 3-hour race here at Sonoma. Well, after a lengthy yellow and the bright sunshine here in Northern California, we've had numerous pit stops and driver changes, which have scrambled the standings somewhat. So we'll take a look at the top 10 or 12 for you. The Hacker Express now qualified 15th and 25th respectively, but now they're up to 2nd and 3rd. There's the Martini Collins entry, the BMW. And in 10th position is Cochran Murray. We had David Murray on with us earlier on the telecast. Aquilani back there in the 12th position in car 37. So right now with some driver changes, let's go back trackside with Calvin Fish.
Okay, I'm here with one of the wheel-to-wheel racing drivers, Mitch Wright. Mitch, you came in early. Andy got in the car, Andy Pilgrim that is, and he pitted under that yellow. Can you go the rest of the way? What is your fuel stop strategy right now?
Well, right now, Andy just came in under this last yellow, and we definitely don't plan on stopping again. We're going to gamble, roll the dice, and we're going for it at this point. The length of this yellow really helped us out quite a bit.
Okay, well, this puts you in the window where you should be able to make to the checkered flag. And as I understand it, the last time you two guys teamed up together here, you actually took up to the overall victory.
That's right. Andy's always been my good luck charm. So we're looking for a victory. We're definitely came here to win. And it's great for me because it's kind of a one-off deal. They just called me up middle of last week and said, hey, can you come out and race with us? And
these wheel-to-wheel guys, we struggled with the car a little bit early in the week, and they just put their nose down to the grindstone and just make it happen, They really got their act together.
This team always looks as though they've got a chance of victory, and they certainly have it to here. But Greg Kramer's further down pit lane with one of the other Pontiac teams.
Thanks very much, Cal. Indeed, I'm with Stu Hayner, who got out of the number 32 Pontiac. And Stu, we were just talking with Calvin about some of the activity going on with the number 1 and 2 cars of Go Pilgrim. It looked like they started on a different fuel strategy, but they stopped at the same stop where you did, got out of the car, and put John in. Does that mean you guys are basically starting from square one for an hour-and-a-half race?
Basically, that's come down to an hour-and-a-half sprint race, yeah. We went into it, obviously, maybe obvious, I don't know, but we went into it to try to get about an hour 40 on a fuel load. And at an hour 25, we hadn't had a stumble or anything else, so we were right on track. Of course, the yellows helped out a lot on that. But we didn't want to take a chance that we would get, have the fuel under green. So we decided it was close enough that we could get enough fuel in there to probably go the end of the race. And as long as John conserves a little bit, I think we can do it. So I don't know what everybody else can do, but I think we can.
All right, thanks very much. I understand we have the gentleman who was our overall leader, the number 62 BMW, down on the pit, Gary.
Yeah, this is obviously an unexpected pit stop. We just see the green flag. A car gets putted off. And he gets hit by the number 1 car of Andy Pilgrim. We had just talked about Andy Pilgrim
being the good luck charm of the team, and nails that 63 car on the start. The 63 car spun at turn 1 for the very first time at a restart. Not quite sure how he managed to do that there unless he got tagged. And poor old Andy Pilgrim coming up from the back, got blindsided and ran straight into the 63 car. So that's Pilgrim's chance of a win, I'd say, severely depleted.
Andy has won. In fact, he's unbeaten in endurance championship races here at Sears Point. He's won 3 in a row. Now let's watch it again.
Oh, got tagged by your Hacker Express, the 0 car. Tagged the 63. The 63 was leading. The 0 car was lying second.
There's the 4th place car of Andy Pilgrim, and he nails him from behind. So your leader involved in tangle with 4th place. Actually got tangled up with 2nd place to begin with. And he continues on. Andy, you can see the damage, only minimal damage to the left front corner of that car, and he continues on. Here's a kid that grew up in England, won 68 motorcycle races in England before moving to the U.S. in 1980. And in fact, he had never raced a car in England until last May. Went back and drove at Silverstone and placed 3rd in the British Empire Touring race in a Porsche 911. So in all those years, he won 68 times on bikes, but never had raced in England until last May.
The very first race in England, he got on the podium. There's the 63 car, which of course was leading at the start of this race, at the start of the yellow, at the end of that caution period. The 63 car was leading, but he is absolutely done for the day. No questions about that. That was Carlos.
Look at this, another tangle, and there was David Murray in the 3 car, almost. Oh, a car. I thought he was going to go on around. The 00 car, part of the Hacker Express. I'm not sure who's in that car right now. John Rulin started that, and I'm not even sure that he actually made the pit stop during that long yellow. There is the 70 car, Joe Barty and Sylvain Tremblay. They're a number of laps down now, back in like 48th position. They had major problems early on, and they're well off the pace. They're just out there for their Saturday afternoon drive right now. Another problem, car number 35, Harry McDonald. Marty Miller, wow, cheering down. That's not a good place to be. Get out of the way. Off turn 2, and boy, action everywhere in the racetrack.
Gravel spread over the track there.
Well, the 0 car is now leading, and we're going to have a full course yellow.
So the 0 car.
There's the red 95 car that got upside down earlier, rolled all the way over. He's back out there running. So the car of Bart Hayes, Paul Hacker, and John Rulin now leading. The number 0 car is your overall leader. And we've gone an hour and almost 45 minutes into a 3-hour event here at Sears Point. Well, there is a look right now at the driver that has been said to be the leader, Bob Towery in car 71, but there seems to be a huge question mark on exactly what is going on as we remain under yellow. Greg Kramer, can you shed some light on what this controversy is all about?
Well, I'm not sure that I can, but I think Joe Marty can, who was dancing around like a caged cat here trying to figure out some strategy. So first of all, what happened? They brought the car in, it was damaged, they're working on it with a crowbar. What precipitated that?
Well, right after the restart, one car ran into the leader, which was the 63 car. The yellow came out, and the cars behind us passed us under yellow and actually hit us. So they let the whole field by, which gave us the lead again. They led us to the front.
So basically, though, once they decided they made the mistake on having IMSA with the yellow situation, they declared you the lead, had to wave the field by. It allowed you to take care of the strategy decisions about it, didn't it?
Right, we were about 10 minutes away from making it on fuel. That allowed us to come in, top it off.
So it started as bad, became good, sort of a chicken soup to chicken.
Well, it was like from chicken salad to chicken doo-doo, but we turned it around.
Now, you started the first car. That's the only car you can get points in. That car's way back. That kind of hurt you point-wise, doesn't it?
Now, I'm kind of done on the points, but as long as the team gets a win out of this, I'll be happy.
And, of course, keep in mind, folks, Sylvain Tremblay, who was supposed to get in after Joe, is now in 71. And that car is going very quickly indeed. So Sylvain has an opportunity to build on some points here as well. Gary?
All right, we thank you for sorting that out. So we'll see if Vardy's teammate might pick up the victory here. Of course, early on today, the 62 car appeared to be the car to beat. That was the BMW. Kelly Cowan started the race from the pole position. And there's a look at car number 62. And as we take a look now at the rundown as to where that car is running. Well off the pace, but let's go see what we can find. Oh, I guess he is well off the pace. He looks like he's going to stop down there now. Let's go back to the pit lane and Calvin see.
Well, the man who seemed to be able to pull away from the field at will there was Kelly Collins here, and now you had to do a driver change, and it looked like you had great track position at the head of the field. Then, unfortunately, under the yellow, your teammate Martini actually had a punch and he had to come in and fix that. What's your strategy from here? Are you going to get back in the car?
Well, truly, first off, the unfortunate thing was that we didn't recognize the flat tire soon enough. We thought it was marbles on the tire, and then we said clean the tires one lap too late. Whether I get back in the car depends on if we're going to have another yellow. If we have another yellow within the next, from here to the last 10 minutes of the race, I definitely will get back in the race car. But for right now, we're going to leave Martini in. We've given him the door and go sign, and take his business to the bottom line.
Okay, well, Kelly Collins does get back in the car. Certainly going to be fun to watch him further down pit lane. Back up in the booth to Gary.
Well, right now, his teammate being shown in 28th position. And there is a look at interesting strategy that he might climb back in the car as late as maybe 10 or 15 minutes to go in the race. So we'll see how that unfolds. We come back with more from Sears Point. And we're now inside the final hour of this 3-hour endurance race for the IMSA Endurance Championship cars here at Sears Point, Sonoma, California. As we take a look at the top runners. And once again, the 71 car being shown in the lead. Look at Priestley Maxwell up to 5th position now. The Van Cleef Henderson entry in the 7th position. And Cunningham all the way up to 8th after starting at the back of the pack. And there is the Green Earwood entry from Touring in number 38 in 9th position. A great vantage point, and there are indeed some great vantage points around the rolling terrain here at Sonoma, California at Sears Point. Let's go down trackside and Greg Kramer. It's kind of like going on a date. And the gal says, I really had a good time, but don't call me. Yeah, don't call me, I'll call you. How old are you, David?
How old am I?
Yeah.
57.
Lie about it, I don't know.
Too old, I know that.
You know you're getting old when you see a good-looking gal and you have to ask her how old her mother is.
Yeah.
I was talking to a gal. Talking to a gal. She was going to go out, but her grandmother got real sick and she didn't go to the hospital because her grandmother's at the point of death, which she is. And I said, how old is your grandmother? And she said, 68. I went, yeah, I didn't dare ask her how young she was, man.
I think they are.
So you figure if her mom were 20 years younger than her grandma, that's 48. She's like 20. No, she's older than that.
Where did you find this young thing?
She is a marketing director for a private club in venture there in April. Met her and she came to Speedway one day and we visited. And grandmother's in trouble with death. She wants to go cruising this week despite her grandmother's illness because I'm thinking of a Brickyard 400 pace car. She wants to go cruising with that now. But she has her own convertible, so I don't know what to do about it.
You're picking up a right?
I got to feel like 10 days.
Oh, yeah.
And after a prolonged yellow, we're about to go back to racing with that much time remaining, just over 42.5 minutes. We take a look at the class leaders, and there's your Grand Sport, Van Fleet and Henderson in sports. And there's the Cunningham car, number 25, leading in touring, and the Norris and the Mitchell compact leading in that division. Quickly before the restart, let's go back to the pit lane with this update from Greg Creamer.
Well, Gary, thanks. We just want to solve this fuel situation. When this yellow started, and you're right, it's been a long one, some of the teams up front in the Grand Sports that were concerned, could they make it? That's out the window now. Everybody is golden all the way to the finish of this one. And to tell you how intense this battle is going to be, Joe Apolani, who owns the team that John Henderson's driving, the number 32 Pontiac, said, we've told John, burn it down, go to the finish.
Look at the marbles outside that corner. Boy, the groove is very, very narrow, and right on the marbles will take you right to the fence.
Incredibly narrow, and of course, with some of these guys like the 62 car that's going to be coming from the 40th odd spot, trying to get through, he's going to be wanting to overtake in some weird spots. That might be one of them. And I tell you what, when he gets up on those marbles, it's going to be mighty slippery.
Sylvain Tremblay now at the keyboard of car number 71. That is the team car that he qualified yesterday. They've had all kinds of mechanical problems, electrical problems since well back. So Sylvain took over the reins of car 71. He is leading. Liberty there in second. Broadcast running firmly in this telecast. David Murray in the third position, number 3 as the broadcast again in the booth. Winning victory.
See if it happens this afternoon, because David Murray in the mission.
Although Tremblay is driving the team car that qualified, every car
they're pretty similar. Obviously, you try and set them up when they've got a team car, a team of drivers that are all contesting that sort of thing, so the cars probably aren't that different. There's a Heineken, of course, the 32 car there. The Heineken car. They should win this. Joe Barty, of course, having been standing the pit. And there it goes, trying to take the lead off the 71 car. That will give him a big jump up in the point over Joe Barty, who's really
Well, I'll tell you what, this series has certainly served as a great springboard for a lot of drivers. In fact, some 2,200 different drivers have competed, including 32 that went on to IndyCar, 16 that went on to Winston Cup, 8 to Formula One. In fact, Jimmy Vasser and Alan Jr. 1 and 2, and in the IndyCar series right now are grads of this series. Wayne Taylor, of course, he is the co-leader in the World Sports Car Division. Irv Hare, Rob and Charlie Morgan, the 1-2-3 punch of IMSA GTS1. Larry Shoemaker, all the top 5 drivers in GTS2. All are grads in this division. Tommy Kent, of course, in the SCPA Grand Am. Pretty impressive, the number of guys. In fact, the guys who have won in football law, Davey Jones and Ron Crook, have also competed in the Endurance Championship.
that one. Number 3 car coming under a lot of pressure now. Number 2 car, which is Craig Conway and Doug Gould. Goode, I think. Doug Goode, I think, is driving now.
Goode was all over the rear of Murray. That's the battle for third. Murray there in that kind of that dark maroon number 3, almost a purple color. 46, there is Maxwell. That is the 46 car that Jason Priestley started the race in. That car now is in 5th position. So Priestley gave it a good ride before turning it over to his teammate, Scott Maxwell. Maxwell qualified the car for the outside front row starting position. And Priestley did himself well this afternoon.
He did. A lot of people thought he was slip back to the field, very competitive front end of the field. But he didn't. He hung on very, very well and has handed the car over in a very competitive position to Maxwell.
Andy Pilgrim won in the number 3 car last year. And look at this move by Goode. Look at second, third, and fourth right together. Goode on the high side. Not exactly where you tell somebody to pass on the outside of a corner.
Not that one. And as they start off down through the S's, this is a very fast string of left, right, left, and then a super fast right. Very, very quick corners. This is the one where we saw the 95 car roll over a few laps ago. The car's picking up speed here, right up round about the 125, 130 mile an hour mark as they sweep through this massive right-hander here with all those marbles on the left.
You mentioned the 95 car. In fact, it is back in the race. It rolled over, drove back to the pit lane, and then continued on now. Alan Hines in the cockpit. He's in 42nd position, so these cars can roll over and continue on in competition. Hey, as long as this battle continues, as we see them swap positions there, the 2 car goes to 3rd position. As long as they're battling, this gives Tremblay a chance to really pull away.
Yep, Goode snagged 3rd spot away from our man David Murray there, so the number 2 car has now picked up the 3rd spot. Right behind him is the Maxwell and the 16 car, the 46 car that started off with Jason Priestley driving. This is going to be a tremendous race because we've only got about 30
Brakes go on there as they negotiate that tight right-hander downhill. And once again now about 39 minutes remaining in this event, so we'll come back and give you more coverage from Sears Point. Back in Sonoma, California at Sears Point, you have missed nothing, and there is a situation right there, a good battle for 2nd position. You've not missed it as it's side by side. Doug Goode on the high side, and the red number 2, a couple of Pontiacs squeezing him off the racetrack. That was Heinrichs that took the competition right off the groove and right out the tooling.
Well, Doug Goode trying to go around the outside of that turn 7 was a bit of an optimistic move, but he hung right in there and hung right in there until Heinrichs did push him off the road. So
and look at Heinrichs though, he's closed in on Tremblay. Now about a car length back. We thought Tremblay was pull away because those guys were bumping and gouging behind him, but look at this. A couple of car lengths separating 1st and 2nd. And look at the battle for 2nd.
Doug Goode there getting right behind Heinrichs, giving him a
little boot.
A little boot.
Nudge. He says, I know you're back there. I took you off the track this last lap. And of course, 4th place is still Murray. Maxwell back in 5th. But look at this. The battle is up in front. RX-7 being challenged by a couple of Pontiacs.
The race got off to a bit of a late start, and of course now you can see the sun shining in those drivers' eyes as they go around that turn. Go down
the inside. He's going to make the pass.
Great spot to overtake that for. It really is downhill. So now can Doug Goode do something about it? Mars are at 7 in front. So that's a bit of dicey between the 2 cars, dicey the 2nd and 3rd. Let the Mars pull away a little bit. Now Doug Goode is setting off in hot pursuit. There's the 46 car of Maxwell. Still hanging right in there.
So that Goode car started outside the 4th row in 8th position. Greg Conway began the driving chores this afternoon. And let's take a look now in the upper left-hand corner. Look for your favorite drivers. We give you a full field rundown as the competition continues. We have now about 35 minutes remaining in this 3-hour endurance championship from the 2.52-mile, 12-turn Sears Point Raceway. When we say 12 turns, we really count all the kinks and bends. You've got about 18 or 19 little turns out there.
Absolutely, they don't count them. Normally it's going to be 3, 4, Woo! Big stir out going there for fourth.
54 car. Scooter Gable started the car, but I think Borchello's in it now, Terry Borchello. And he got out in the loose stuff, but kept his foot in it. He's back there in the 6th position. There's the battle for 4th right there. David Murray is 4th, and 5th is Maxwell.
Up through that very tight turn 2 down. This looks a much steeper downhill than it looks there. Then they swoop uphill right into that sun. Cars get light to go to the top, then a steep downhill before. So we just saw that Doug Go do that great pass.
Television cannot do justice to the elevation change on this racetrack.
This is all downhill here. Then a little crest there, then more downhill to what I call the carousel, turn 6, long left-hander. A lot of temperature going into those right tires there, front-hand rear. That long left-hander, then a bit of a straight here. And of course, this is a good opportunity to come off turn 6. A really good opportunity to overtake somebody going into this turn. Turn 7, where we saw Doug Go try a couple of times on the outside of Heinz. It didn't work. Doug got pushed off into the dirt right there. Still only just in front of Heinz here, not making much ground up on the marker.
Well, Tremblay continues to lead in the car that he had not planned to drive. In fact, this is his 10th Endurance Challenge competition, and in 9 previous races, he's been a quick qualifier on 3 occasions. In fact, all 3 races previous to today, he was a fast qualifier. He's got a couple of wins so far this season. The most recent win was June 8th at Watkins Glen, 3 hour, in the team car, Mazda RX-7. Pompano Beach, Florida, 30-year-old second-year driver, actually a second-year driver in this competition, Sylvain Tremblay.
Well, John Henderson in the black and yellow Pontiac certainly has not given up trying to get around Doug Gold in the red Pontiac as they struggled mightily for second position. Exactly what Silver Tremblay wanted to do. They backed up. That's going to give him a breather.
Well, there is the leader of the sports class, David Hobbs, car number 66.
Bob Eric Van Cleef.
Yeah, Eric Van Cleef is in the car. Bob Henderson. In fact, Henderson became I think the oldest driver ever to win this type of competition. He is now 10th overall. He's 62 years of age. In fact, he won at Watkins Glen earlier this season. He was 62 years and 10 months. That's the first season of life in 28, so he was almost 63 and going strong. Makes you a youngster.
Absolutely. I'm glad there's somebody around here older than I am. I'm glad there's somebody on the 3,000 acre property here that's actually older than I am.
And he's out there racing, too. He's winning his lap.
Yeah. Good old Graf. Nice, right?
We go back to the front of the pack as we near the final 30 minutes of this 3-hour IMSA Endurance Challenge event from Cedar Point Raceway here in Napa Valley, Sonoma, California. There is Sylvain Tremblay in the Mazda RX-7 Turbo, and he continues to lead. Goes, gets off the pavement just for a moment. We'll come back with more. Stay with us.